So I see that big smile. How does it feel when you hear that you've joined Oscar Robertson in the record books for most triple-doubles in a season?
It's a blessing, man. Something I can never imagine. I'm just so thankful and blessed to be able to play the game I love. And just
Yeah.
We got London on the track.
This is all God's doing, man, you can't plan it. But if the devil's in the details, then I'm satanic.
The NBA End of Season Awards. Who deserves what award, and as a result, who is going to get snubbed? Now that the regular season is over, it's time to decide these pressing issues. So what is good, people's kid? How we doing? It's your boy Kobe back with another video, and as always, I hope you guys are having a blessed day. A couple quick things before we get into the video, guys. I want to thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. I couldn't believe that we grew so fast. It's actually amazing how fast you can grow on YouTube. So I really appreciate how much you guys are really vibing our videos and how much support you're giving to us. I want to announce that we're going to do a giveaway real soon, and we just want to give back because of all the support we're getting. And I don't know exactly when we're going to do it, not yet, but just because I have school. I have a couple weeks left before I finish up. But after school and I have some more free time, I'm going to get an idea together in terms of how we can make this giveaway so we can give back as much as possible to you guys because it really does mean a lot. Anyways, as I mentioned, I have a great video for you guys today talking about the NBA End of Season Awards, who deserved what award and for what reason. I have a great format. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. It's kind of fun. It keeps the ball rolling. And I want to hear what you guys think about it too, as always. So leave a comment below about what you thought of the video and also what you think about whose award should go to who. So thanks again for your support. Without further ado, guys, let's get into the video. Welcome to the 2017 TPK NBA Awards Show. I am your host, Kobe, and today we have a great show for you guys. We have a total of 6 categories to get through today, so let's not waste any time. The first category is the prize that goes out to the best young blood this season, the player who made his debut and took little time to find success. This is none other than the award for Rookie of the Year. Although the rookie class this year was no doubt disappointing, there were a few guys that came out with solid performances, so let's hear the nominees for this prestigious award. Dario Saric, Philadelphia 76ers. Drafted in the 2014 NBA Draft, Saric came over this year and has enjoyed a fantastic rookie campaign. This first-year forward averages 12.8 points per game, 6.3 rebounds per game, and 2.2 assists per game, but also post-All-Star averages of 17.3 points per game, 7.3 rebounds per game, 3.4 assists per game.
Oh wow, as Jerebko got his ankles broken.
Malcolm Brogdon, Milwaukee Bucks. Coming out of Virginia under Tony Bennett, Malcolm looked like a mid-career veteran this year for Milwaukee with averages of 10.2 points per game, 4.2 assists per game, and 40% from 3 this season, stealing the starting job from fan favorite Matthew Dellavedova. Only a second-round pick, Brogdon has decisively proved his place in the greatest basketball league in the entire world.
Shooting them, it's the closest three-point shot. Malcolm Brogdon!
Joel Embiid, Philadelphia 76ers. As a member of the Sixers, Joel averaged 20.2 points per game with 7.8 rebounds per game and looked like a future NBA legend in the games that he played, but he unfortunately only participated in 31 contests this season due to lingering injuries.
LeBron James blocked by Embiid.
Having said all this, the winner for this year's Rookie of the Year award goes to Dario Saric, Philadelphia 76ers. While Embiid had a fantastic first impression for his first NBA season, Saric had to get the nod here because of success over the entire year. Ironically, Joel's injury in the second half of the season actually paved the way to Dario's development this year. As you can see here on his monthly splits, it is clear Saric benefited greatly from becoming a more pronounced offensive weapon later in the year as his peak month in March shows a completely different level of production from November. And yet he didn't particularly shoot well from the floor. At only 41% and 31% from the three-point line, he showed the versatility that many hoped for in providing routine playmaking for a Philly team desperate for offense and stretches this year. Although far from one of the greatest rookie campaigns, Saric is the first rookie in NBA history to score 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, 150 assists, and 100 made three-pointers. To be honest, we will have to wait and see how the Sixers will try and combine him, Embiid, and Ben Simmons next year at the same time. If they figure out the chemistry, it could be the start to some long nights for opposing NBA teams. Congrats to Dario on this award. Moving on to the next award. This is the prize that goes to the player that decided he was going to up his game from the previous year. Instead of staying at the same place or even falling back a bit, This player proved to NBA fans and analysts alike that there is a next gear to his basketball ability. So that being said, let's take a look at the candidates for the 2016-2017 Most Improved Player Award. Nikola Jokic, Denver Nuggets. This second-year player enjoyed a breakout year for the Nuggets this season, showing everyone he is already one of the best big men in the NBA at only 22 years old. In just under 28 minutes per contest, Jokic enjoyed averages of 16.7 points per game, 9.8 rebounds per game, and 4.9 assists per game, along with passing highlights at every turn.
Wow. Pass by Nikola Jokic.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis, or Greek Freak as known by many NBA fans, was already a player worth building around last year, but this season he really took it up a notch. Antetokounmpo averaged 22.9 points per game, 8.8 rebounds, and 5.4 assists on a shooting percentage of 52.1, while leading the Milwaukee Bucks to the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference.
Time winding down. Antetokounmpo on the fade. It's good. At the buzzer.
James Johnson, Miami Heat. One of the biggest surprises this season, Johnson became a prominent figure in the Miami Heat's second half success. After being an NBA journeyman for the majority of his career, Johnson delivered valuable minutes for Miami, averaging 12.8 points per game, 4.9 rebounds, and 3.6 assists, along with fantastic defensive effort during his time on the court.
Last shot of the quarter. Johnson with a hammer dunk.
Congratulations to all the nominees for this award, but as you know, there can only be one winner. Without further ado, the winner for the 2016-2017 Most Improved Player Award goes to Giannis Antetokounmpo, Milwaukee Bucks. Let's be clear, guys. All these candidates have a worthy argument, but while Johnson and especially Jokic are going to get paid handsomely in the future for their triumphs this season, Giannis took the leap that makes us all question if he's going to be one of the NBA's next legendary players. What looked like a deadly 1-2 combo halfway through the season with him and Jabari Parker, the Bucks season looked in jeopardy after Parker tore his ACL for a second time in 2 years. But thanks to the reemergence of Chris Middleton and the consistent presence of Giannis, Milwaukee somehow not only weathered the storm, but became the Eastern Conference's most winningest team in the month of March at a record of 14-4. As a player whose game is synonymous with top-notch versatility, Antetokounmpo answered the bell by drastically increasing his production this year in every single major stat category. According to NBA.com, he's also delivered some history this season as the only player in NBA history to finish in the top 20 in total points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. Let that sink in. Not even LeBron has managed to do that for an entire NBA year. And yet, having said all these incredible accomplishments, what could be the most exciting development for Bucks fans this year is seeing Giannis' scoring in particular climb nearly 35% to 23.2 points per game. The fact that he still has serious room to grow in his mid-range and three-point shooting is a scary thought. Who knows how much he can still improve as a scorer at the NBA level. At just 22 years old, Giannis may be the most promising player to watch for in the entire NBA. Incredible stuff from Giannis this season. Congratulations to him and Milwaukee for their success this year. Next up is the category that speaks to the most consistent player in the league who produced coming off the bench. This is none other than the NBA's Sixth Man of the Year award. Here to read the nominees, we have Russell Westbrook. Russell, will you be so kind to read the nominees?
What?
So you know what, forget bet, I'm just going to keep doing it. So let's get into the nominations for the Sixth Man of the Year award. Patty Mills, San Antonio Spurs. It was just another great season for Australia's own Patty Mills. As a knockdown shooter and backup point guard for San Antonio, Mills helped contribute the Spurs to their second consecutive 60-win season and the 20th consecutive year they have reached the NBA playoffs. Currently the longest active playoff streak in major North American sports. Andre Iguodala, Golden State Warriors. Surprisingly, Iggy has never been named to this award before, but he definitely has a case every single season for when he's played in Golden State. As a do-it-all forward that routinely finds success guarding the best wings in the NBA, Iguodala made a late push in this award by putting up March averages of 12 points per game, 4.3 rebounds, and 3.4 assists, all the while the Warriors finished this year winning 15 of their final 16 games. Eric Gordon, Houston Rockets. After battling injuries for the duration of his career since his breakout year with the Clippers, Gordon has luckily stayed healthy this season and has been rejuvenated playing for the up-tempo Houston Rockets. In 75 games this year, Gordon has averaged 16.2 points per game on 40% from the field and 37% from three.
And he is your winner of the JBL three-point contest.
So after hearing the candidates, the winner for this year's NBA Sixth Man of the Year award goes to Eric Gordon, Houston Rockets. Despite the strong ending to Iguodala in the Warriors season, Gordon is very deserving of this award for his consistency throughout the entire regular season. Even though Gordon benefited largely from MVP candidate James Harden in his play this year, he also managed to do his part while Harden took his in-game breathers. According to ESPN's Mark Stein, Houston still outscored opponents by 3.9 points per 100 possessions with Harden off the floor, signaling Gordon's success as a second option. Ironically, Lou Williams, conveniently enough, has also produced well off the bench in Houston since his trade from the Lakers. While both are big-time three-point shooters, Gordon gets the nod as he finished fourth in the entire NBA in total three-pointers made at 246. With the Rockets taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round, it'll be interesting to see how much guys like Gordon and OKC's Oladipo will end up impacting the series that many people think could be a remake of Batman vs. Superman. Anyways, congratulations to Eric for his award in his bounce-back season. Now, it's not all about prizes on this day. We can't forget that the NBA is filled with multi-talented stars that have many talents beyond the basketball court. So with this in mind, please enjoy a beautiful performance from the very lovely Victor Oladipo while we reveal our picks for all NBA selections.
Go on, and life was nothing but an awful song. But now I know the meaning of true love. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. If I can see it, then I can do it. If I just believe it.
Thank you for that, Victor. You have a wonderful voice. Moving on to our final three categories. We're going to start the second half of the broadcast with the award that goes to the coach who performed the best this season, given the circumstances and team makeup of his roster. Just like the other categories, there are a multitude of worthy candidates, so let's get into the nominees for the 2016-2017 Coach of the Year award. Scott Brooks, Washington Wizards. Despite a slow start in which the Wizards began the season at 3-9, Brooks has reemerged as one of the best coaches in the NBA this year. In his first season with Washington, Brooks has already delivered on bringing the Wizards back to the playoffs by riding one of the league's premier backcourts in John Wall and Bradley Beal. Not only this, since December 1st, the Wizards carry the best record in the entire Eastern Conference.
Wall drives and slams it in with the left hand over Hamilton.
Mike D'Antoni, Houston Rockets. After struggling to find a lineup that fits his coaching philosophy during his time with the Lakers, D'Antoni deserves significant praise for the success of the Houston Rockets this year. With capable three-point shooters all over the court, D'Antoni worked the sidelines similar to his days in Phoenix. The only difference is he might look a bit more aged nowadays. Eric Spoelstra, Miami Heat. If this was the Coach of the Hottest Wife award, Spoelstra would certainly wipe out the competition. But he also does qualify for this prize because of the job he did in Miami this season. Looking like one of the NBA's worst team at the midway point, the Heat suddenly gained life and started winning at a pace that confused just about everyone. Although they failed to make the playoffs, Spoelstra again proved his coaching prowess, sans LeBron James on the roster. And the winner for the NBA's 2016-2017 Coach of the Year goes to Mike D'Antoni, Houston Rockets. By recording 55 wins this year, Houston zoomed past the 44-win mark that Vegas considered the over-under prior to the season. While it is clear D'Antoni's up-tempo philosophy fueled Houston's dominance, I personally believe the executive decision this year to turn the keys to James Harden at point guard was a revelation that really took Harden's already elite play to a level that can only be realized through his increased minutes at the one spot. Harden was always a playmaker, that was clear, but the way that he played floor general this year showed he quite possibly is the best point guard in the league as a shooting guard. Surely, some of this credit has to go to D'Antoni. Okay, we have 2 more awards to go, and as we unfortunately don't have any more performances, we're going to keep moving straight along. This next award goes to the player who best dominated his position on the side of the ball that is always spoken of less. where the player's play on the defensive side was often a bigger impact on the game than his play on the offensive side. As we all know, this award is the Defensive Player of the Year. So without further ado, let's take a look at the nominees for this year's DPOY. Rudy Gobert, Utah Jazz. The 24-year-old center for Utah this year has become arguably the best defensive center in the entire NBA. Alongside teammate Gordon Hayward, Gobert has contributed heavily to the Jazz's success this season, averaging 14 points per game, 12.8 rebounds per game, and an NBA-leading 2.6 blocks per game. Kawhi Leonard, San Antonio Spurs. Clearly the best two-way player in the NBA, Leonard only seems to improve his amazing basketball ability with every passing year in the league, as he's routinely able to make the best offensive players look foolish. Kawhi is an easy pick for one of the best 3 nominees for this award. Draymond Green, Golden State Warriors. With the Warriors still among the league leaders in defensive play, Draymond is the main culprit for their triumphs on this end with his versatility and his league-leading 4.7 defensive win shares. Out of the 3 nominees, Draymond also far and away carries the highest overall combination of blocks and steals per game at 3.4. Having said all the nominees, the winner for this year's Defensive Player of the Year award goes to Rudy Gobert, Utah Jazz. Again, many deserving candidates on this list, but I personally have to take Gobert over Kawhi and Draymond simply for the dominance he has shown in the paint this year. Along with leading the league in blocks, Gobert is only behind Joel Embiid for defended field goal percentage at the rim at a robust 43.3%. Further, Gobert is the 12th player in NBA history to have at least 1,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 200 blocks in one season. When you consider these facts, it's easy to see why the Utah Jazz finished 3rd in defensive rating this year. In developing the case for Rudy, the final point that brings everything together is the newfound success of the Utah Jazz this season. Without Gobert's presence as a dynamite rim protector that at the very worst significantly alters shots in the paint with his length, it's hard to see the Jazz in the playoffs with a realistic chance to take down the Clippers in the first round. With only one award left to be handed out, let us take a look at our already anointed winners. Rookie of the Year goes to Dario Saric. Most Improved Player went to Giannis. Sixth Man of the Year went to Eric Gordon. Coach of the Year goes to Mike D'Antoni. And Defensive Player of the Year went to Rudy Gobert. Having said this, now it's time to get to the award that might have been the closest race in NBA history. The Most Valuable Player Award for the 2016-2017 NBA year. Not only is this race incredibly close at the top, but there are so many players that are deserving of this award, it's actually surprising. Guys like DeMar DeRozan, John Wall, Isaiah Thomas, and even Gordon Hayward are players that have got their teams wins off the back of their play, and they're not even nominated in this top 3. Most years, I believe at least one of these guys would get the award with the seasons they're having, but this is not most years. So anyways, with that being said, let's get into the nominees for this year's Most Valuable Player Award. James Harden, Houston Rockets. James Harden is looking for his first MVP this year after leading the Rockets to the 3rd seed in the West with his dynamic play from the point guard position. For the season, Harden averaged 29 points per game, 8.1 rebounds, and 11.2 assists.
You know what I express? You know what I'm thinking about, don't you? James Harden, put him in the popcorn machine.
Russell Westbrook, Oklahoma City Thunder. Westbrook is also looking for the first MVP award of his career, and he made a strong case by being the first player to average a triple-double for an entire NBA season since Oscar Robertson in 1962. His season averages are 31.6 points per game, 10.4 assists per game, and 10.7 rebounds a contest.
Westbrook with the steal, gets past Conley, and an easy 2.
Kawhi Leonard, San Antonio Spurs. The only player to be nominated for 2 different categories, Kawhi has a few points in his favor for his MVP candidacy. Out of the 3 candidates, Leonard's team achieved the best record at 61 wins, but Kawhi also gains credibility for his defensive presence in comparison to the other 2 players. For the season, Kawhi averaged 25.5 points per game, 3.5 assists per game, and 5.8 rebounds a contest.
Green all over Matthews. There's Leonard. There's Leonard. Here comes Kawhi.
Finally, we have reached the moment we have all been waiting for. Without a moment's delay, the most valuable player for the 2016-2017 NBA season goes to Russell Westbrook, Oklahoma City Thunder. With 42 triple-doubles and a season that will be remembered for years to come, I had to go Westbrook as the MVP of the NBA. I'm not going to make a hard sell for Westbrook because I can only imagine everyone who is watching this already has their own sound perspective on the matter. Having said this, I will make the case that despite Westbrook's campaign being fueled by the statistical nature of his season, he did do a lot for his team winning games this year. If this was a scenario where Russell put up all these numbers and didn't translate to wins, I don't think he could be considered MVP over either Kawhi or Harden. Despite the perception that his heavy usage could potentially be consequential to the Thunder, OKC had a record of 33-9 when he got a triple-double. In other words, the Thunder desperately needed him this year to have any chance, and that is why I'm giving him MVP for this year's NBA season.